Hi, this is your boy Terry. My username across the internet is Surpassing Google, and welcome to my video. Once again, in this video, we're going to be discussing BAG. BAG is short for Black Acres of the Gambia. And at the very least, I'm hoping that this video manages to inspire them because perhaps unknown to them, they have managed to inspire me, in grand measures. I have a measure of inspiration on my own, but many times this inspiration needs a sustenance, and I turn to the BAG videos and I draw inspiration from these videos. More than 200 videos, and I've seen each of these videos, down to, its underlying context, every tiny details. I have particular interest in humans. I see humans as the most beautiful of earthly creatures, and by means of humans, we can gain clearer insights into the true state of the world, and many answers lie there, gaining insight into the true state of the world. The world, for the most part of today, is painted. So there's a need to remove some of this paint, because a painted world is an unreal world. And this is some of the undertaking that the BAG family is undertaking, into very grand measures. They may not be established, they may not be able to establish in totality as at now, just how much they're doing, but it will be laid bare over the course of time. And why I say so is because they have all the human virtues necessary to decipher this particular knowledge. There's knowledge emanating from the down-to-earth spaces of Africa, undocumentable by the words that we have today in the dictionary. This is true. The words in existence today cannot cover the complexest tenets of real life obtainable in the down-to-earth spaces of Africa. They're just insufficient. Whoever wrote those words defined them and established them to carry particular meaning. They can't have had insight into the down-to-earth spaces of Africa. And in truth, the paradigms in the world is shifting. It is returning back, or returning down to earth. I say returning back down to earth for emphasis sake. For the most part, currently the world is in outer space. As per knowledge, the world that is obtainable, the knowledge that is obtainable in the world on a larger scale is book knowledge, outer space knowledge. This on its own is not tangible or sufficient enough for human evolution. The knowledge necessary for humans to evolve into a state of full-blown humanhood is a knowledge that is whole, balanced. Hence, there needs to be a revelation of the down-to-earth knowledge, the knowledge contained in the no books. I call this knowledge legitimate literacy. I've done time in these spaces and undertaking a grasping of this particular knowledge. Hence, one of my purposes is a revelation of this knowledge. Everyone can tap into this particular knowledge, but you will have to experience it. Hence, the value in going to live in Africa. But it's not entirely about living in Africa. It's perhaps about being African. African in terms of the context, not entirely on the basis of location or being, hailing from the location of Africa. When it comes to things of Africa, it's about seeing how many things you can see as opposed to looking. It's possible that you're looking, and it's possible that you're taking a look. Seeing is different. So many times it boils down to how many things you can see when it comes to Africa. And Bag family, they have what it takes. Rick, his wife Cynthia, sweet Juicy Mama, they have it. And there's so much evidence of it, of this. It's just refreshing to see their family. The realness that they not project. I mean, they are living those things. They're mingling with what things that is labeled dirt by world standards. However, does the world know that dirt is good? Ask the soap master. Or does the world know that even of nonsense you can do a sifting to find sense therein? Does the world is still very novice to the complexest tenets of real life. And I'm sure that they will be spotting these things, over the course of time. It's not a coincidence that you can find a mechanic in those African countries. They don't need any gadgets. They can tell you just to kickstart the car, and then they will tell you what the problem is. It's not so physical. Many things in those spaces are unordinary. People have to tap into their grind, their hustle, their fire, to be able to live in those spaces, surmount mountains of odds. And in the course of surmounting these odds, they dig even of themselves. And this doesn't take literacy or school knowledge. These are grander things, and it is not known to the world, but what is sought after in Africa is greatness. Technological advancement, all that is attaining a peak, a cap. What more after blockchain technology, which is currently available, artificial intelligence, which is in the making, human clones will be next, or maybe human robots, then human clones, then what? That's the limit. The world will begin to return down to earth, and the likes of Rick and Bag family would have been there, laying the groundwork, so that when people return back down to earth, there's a groundwork. Did you know that today there is, in every industry, every niche, there is knowledge derivable from the down-to-earth spaces of Africa that when, applied in the evolution of this, projects, the enterprise model constituting whatever project you're embarking on, you will instantly have an edge. You'll instantly be able to, create innovations that take cognizance of the entire globe. Each one. Most of the innovations today have that limit. They cannot cater to the entire globe because they are incapable of taking cognizance of anyone in the evolution of their project model. Why so? Because they are limited in knowledge. Because while it's possible for us, let's say us, to gain insights into outer space knowledge via curriculums in the schools, media, television, and all that, the world out there cannot gain insights into rare intel contained in the down-to-earth spaces of Mama Earth as seen in Africa, because these things aren't documented. When you talk of human, today, humans are measured courtesy of superficial stuff for the most part. Even put money aside, human. When you see Terry, what do you see? When I see you, however, what do I see? I see a being, a very powerful being with a measure of invincibility. Even though We are mere dust. We're created in the image of a supreme being, a creator. And so how can we be objects of poverty? The world narrates or tends to label humans poor, third world, developing. How so? But the truth is they are novice to the true state of the world. Many times it is the human shine that is missing, pummeled into redundancy or into relegation, courtesy of curriculums in the world, in some cases due to circumstances. Just restore that shine and many so-called issues become non-existent, non-issues in reality. Humans just lose value. Preemptively, basically, every structure in the world of today is created to further remove value from humans and distribute it among superficial inanimate things. Money, career ladder, talent, crypto kitties, virtual babies. Humans are mostly constitute clients as the world advances. But there will be a realization that humans have value, a shift back towards what used to exist in Africa, like trade by barter. Those I saw a recent video by Bad Family, where they are doing trade. I think they titled the video "Bartering," try not bartering in Africa. The world may not see value in these things, but in that particular regime or era, humans had a measure of value. Yes, it is possible in Africa till date to exchange a Ferrari for maybe an iPhone. It's very possible, but because humans are seen to constitute more than inanimate things like money, and humans are measured courtesy of many other facets. Maybe it's just a spiritual connection, maybe a prayer. Someone that we know the value of a prayer or a vibe, a strong vibe passed through a handshake, through a warm hug, or a connection, potential connection. A man that looks raggedy in those spaces of Africa may have a connection. Humans are, anyway, you may see a janitor. He's not a janitor. He may have the ambition and the capacity in terms of his human to aspire and achieve CEOism at the snap of a finger. A typical person there has it, regardless of literacy levels. Just courtesy of what they constitute, the invincibility in their human. These things, the curriculum, the system, besides secular curriculums, it instills these things in you. As you surmount odds, you scale levels, involving greatness, till you reach the. Anyway, I'm digressing. This video, I'm here because I was just inspired. I saw 3 brothers, in bag. I wish the beauty of this thing is understood. I was inspired that day. I'm in isolation. I don't see sunlight basically, and I'm usually on watching bag videos. I want to catch every response, the stimuli, and I'll understudy the underlying when it involves humans and especially brothers. Gosh, there's a rarity in that industry in the world at large, brothers, and it was just beautiful to see those brothers brainstorming on bag. The land is seafoam. It was just beautiful, having directional conversation, even in a casual atmosphere. There's so much power there. That's why, even just for a simple casual conversation, we don't underrate anyone, because lying in a random person's head is information that stayed redundant in their head because it's not tangible for their own evolution, but it may constitute the ever missing piece of your puzzle. Hence all those street conversations that the bad family doesn't neglect. Those are very powerful. We understand these things in Africa. So you see them when they walk the streets, Rick, and they relate with people on a human level. That's powerful in itself. Every human can relate on a human level, except you're losing out on humanhood and becoming godlike. Regardless of your levels of literacy, social status, at the very least you can relate on a human level. That's why the channel bag has the potential of appealing to the soft spot of every human, transcending nation or location or literacy levels. It decentralizes content, making it available to every human. The channel is bound to grow to huge measures. Rikita's channel as well. I've seen its growth within a few days. This is guaranteed. It's not coincidence that people form a longing for these channels, even though it's real, raw, things that media of the world do not want to propagate. Dirt is good as it's. We're a mere dust in reality. To dust we will return. Dirt is good, ask the soap master. Even out of this nonsense there's sense. The not so good, at least there's avenues to evolve in our human virtues courtesy of this so-called not so good, or find testimonial used for good. Not everything is just beautiful, and kudos to those two brothers that came from USA, wanting to undertake a journey in Africa. It's no coincidence. If something is going on, the paradigms in the world is shifting, and I'm hoping that those two brothers manage to see this video. Hopefully it manages to inspire them however much to carry on with that undertaking. One of the brothers said it takes guts. Yes. Those routes are testimonially hard routes, but keyword is testimonial. A Bill Gates still today, he cannot code in the jungle. Someone who takes those routes will do both jungle and outer space. So much power there, so much power, and especially with the diasporans, but on a larger scale than just having to do with knowledge. There's room for even your own evolution courtesy of those down to earth spaces of Africa. Tapping into your greatness like never before. I'm going to do a separate video directed at the bad family kids. I'm going to just talk a bit more of what's obtainable in a young person's life. I'll talk about myself, my journeys, and so that they gain insights into what is about to happen. The guy from Nigeria was giving some talks to the kids. Nadia was the one on camera, and I want to give my own input as well as to what is obtainable in a child's life growing up, to inspire them. I'm going to do a separate video. In that video, in a previous video, I was inviting back to a live stream video. I don't know if they saw the video, but some of back subscribers did see the video, and I didn't even know the video got some views, and so I want to do a separate video for this. Basically, I want to talk of blockchain technology, and that bag that the bag family may decide to look into it too, to complement the journey they're undertaking. Because of the era we are in, I see that Rick has a growing interest in what is obtainable technology-wise, and it's, blockchain technology is something that can really help, progress the bag dream as well, digitally, and creates grander awareness for bag and the vision, because this is an entire vision, very grand vision, really. So perhaps I digress. That was the intention for this video. I wanted to do a video where I'm going to talk of blockchain technology, how you can integrate it with bag, and what is forming currently on bag. And besides bag, in Africa in general, it's still something that's new to Africa, and it will just blossom. In a place like Gambia, it will blossom. Blockchain is basically technology. It's nothing, unknown. Not unknown. It's not narrated as a technology. Most focus is on the digital currency aspect of blockchain. But blockchain is just a database, basically. Database. It's just that the storage or the collection of this data is decentralized. So instead of it being hosted on one server, monopolized by one party, it's hosted on random servers across the globe. That's basically it. So I feel that content is going to be a very important part of BAG in terms of bringing it to mainstream awareness, and for something with the vision of BAG, there's going to be need for uncensorable or immutable data storage. Because I saw one video earlier of BAG where the guy from USA, the recent video, the two brothers, they were wary of their language, and it's affecting the YouTube video. So it's true. I created one channel recently, and I featured one video from someone. I didn't even know that the person was using those, foul, maybe let's call it foul languages. The person is from USA and was just speaking casually, and I just featured an excerpt of that video in my own video, and it's just a new channel, and the channel was deleted basically. And I contacted YouTube, and they said they will not restore the channel, and I should not respond or reply to the email because they will no longer accept responses. So it's of essence for a vision like BAG to have storage for data that is uncensorable and immutable. But besides that, a legitimate illiterate, knows of the beauty of blockchain, perhaps more so than the creators of blockchain. It's just a very beautiful tool in what it can accomplish, but it's not for the owners to establish this beauty. They are to. And it's very easy these days. That's why I want to discuss it. I think I'll end up doing it in a separate video. I want to discuss it. Many things are very, very simple, just made complex on purpose, so that knowledge becomes a commodity sought after, a business, and monopolized, so that some people are seen as elites and the others are can be held accountable. So many things are really very, very simple. Very, very simple. So the implementation of that blockchain technology in the vision of BAG is very simple. And you can also have a digital currency named after BAG, and distribute this currency to further incite or create awareness for your movement. Very easy to implement. I think I'll have to do a separate video to explain that. And in that video as well, I'd also talk of platforms, other platforms that you can, join. Not exactly join very actively. Mostly repost your content, same content that you have on YouTube, including all the old videos on. That can also complement what you're doing, serve as a database for your content, as well as some revenue stream. Revenue is always secondary in my case. Money is the smaller things, and I know that's the case with Bag. That's something celebratory to see of Bag. Very beautiful. It's easy to get entitled. You have accolades, a number of following, and you start compromising quality, becoming entitled and all that. But Bag is showing the substance of their identity and definition, unshakable. Saying that they'll get to 5,000 subscribers, then start to go live where people can contribute to the cause and all that. Very beautiful, commendable, celebratable and all that. Anyway, may this inspire you some more. I'll have to do another video for the blockchain to discuss some other things that you can look into to complement your vision. I'm your boy Terry. I'll stop here. The video is becoming very lengthy, so I'll stop here for now and have to do another video covering other matters. Another video will come dedicated to the Bag kids. Me talking as a young boy, let me say young boy, two fellow young ones. So I'm your boy Terry. Make sure to stay awesome. My username is Surpassing Google across the internet. If you want to contact me, my contact is underneath in the description. If you want to read about me, I have a 17-minute publication about me underneath in the description. Kindly subscribe as well to inspire me. And go subscribe to Bag Family. I'll put the link under the video. Stay awesome.